like there's like a way you can talk about it. Music field itself. You can say the same things. Probably sound super like pretentious, but it's still like accurate.
Yeah. Wait, what's pretentious?
Taking some time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Taking time
Who's
to
taking?
focus on your writing.
Yeah. Which is kind of what you do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think you have to.
Focus on the way I see the world.
yeah. The next 2 hours are going to be all about my point of view.
That has been kind of my feeling. I don't know if that's exactly what you're saying. That I feel like I didn't want to impose my point of view on this ensemble, this group, this talking group, and like.
I don't think you can.
No.
I mean, you can like coax us down a road.
Doesn't mean you guys are gonna go there.
Yeah. I mean, I tried to coax us down a road last time, but it was your road, kind of. Well, maybe not exactly. It was a dual, quadruple road.
It's almost like if you make the argument that music is like before language or pre-linguistic, it's almost like our talking is pre-musical, where we don't have to worry about the confines of music, but actually we're like almost freer talking.
Can we get closer?
You know what I mean?
I didn't bring my mic, so I'm gonna have to speak up a little. But I'm just gonna focus on like a random object, and we can kind of just talk into it.
I'm gonna consolidate the trash here.
Okay. Actually, do we have our objects?
Yeah.
Let's put our objects like right here. Can we do that?
Just my object needs to be seen from a direction.
Oh, from a distance?
It does? Alright.
No.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Maybe. For an eye exam or something?
Should have brought the other lens, but I always say that.
That's
Wow.
two objects.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we looking at?
It's 2 objects. Well, it was supposed to be 3, but it's hard.
It's two.
But it's
But
alright.
it's art.
It's hard.
Oh.
And then what do we have here?
Well, looks like a bottle and a piece of paper, Tim.
Okay.
Coming at you live.
Wild Beast. From Wild Beast, we got a bottle and a piece of paper.
Exciting
A
times.
tennis ball.
Gotta join the club, man.
Maybe I
That's a
should
hot one
do
out
that.
today.
Are you gonna? You can hang on to your
Maybe I
decision
should
if you
bring
want.
it back
Could be a
over
factor.
here.
Bring it over here.
Yeah.
Bring it over here.
I wasn't sure.
Don't force us into your point of
I
view.
wasn't sure what the spatiality was going to be like.
I wasn't sure either. Let's construct a movie. Oh, great.
There I go.
Here, I'm going to consolidate. The
Can I-
idea was to have this in a place where you can see this in the sky and this.
Okay.
But I think I'm just going to go with this for now.
All right.
Alright.
Cool. Let's do that for the round one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Actually, is that how we want the objects to be?
Not necessarily.
No.
No, I don't like it.
Okay. What do we want? Okay. Well, that's
Actually, that's kind of really nice.
that was very cool. Okay. Well, I think you just proved my point. I was trying to enforce my point of view, and you guys kind of just like ruined it. What I wanted us to do was kind of talk through objects. So last time we were talking through objects while like looking away from each other. You know, we were kind of we're seated in a circle and looking, focusing on something. But this time we're doing the opposite, or so it seems, right? And and so we have a campfire of objects, and I think what I'd like to try. I've never done this before, but and so this is why it's kind of looking kind of what do you call it? Unorganized. But let's like have one object talked at a time.
Talked about at a time?
No, talk through at a time. Yeah. So maybe what should we do? Help me out. So
Sure.
whoever talks, put forth the object, one at a time.
So we all have to take turns
For now.
Explaining our object.
talking.
For now.
Talking through our object.
No, not talking to. Talking through.
Through. I said
Talking through. Talking through. Talking through our object.
Talking to them?
Yeah. True that. Okay, I'll start. Okay, anyway.
I think we have to like have our.
Are you talking with the camera or with your
I'm gonna talk with my camera. I'm gonna be two people at once. But anyway, so I mean, like I just kind of thought about. I thought a lot about what you guys were saying. Well, actually, I really didn't. I thought about what?
You didn't?
Yeah, I mean.
Wait,
Like-
am I looking at this?
Yeah, we're all looking at that right now. Yeah, and I'm talking through this object. I don't know where it's going, but hold on to your objects for now. Yeah,
Can I
yeah.
be adjacent to my object?
Just focus on this object actually. So don't worry about your object. Worry about mine because this is the object that's talking right now, and I'm talking through the object. I don't know, into wherever you want to think of where it's going. I mean, Ben, you were saying like, talking is like what pre-linguistic.
I was saying that a lot of people say that music is like pre-linguistic, before words or beyond words even.
So
And-
maybe when you talk, put your object forward,
I
and
see.
then I'll focus on that. I'm making this up as I go, obviously.
this is. Can I just say?
This is stupid. Why are you doing this? Can
That's
I
what
just
you
say
sound
it?
like, Patrick.
I don't know. I'm just having. There's something about like the linearity of this. Yeah.
There.
There we go.
All right.
So as I was
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah. What were you
that
saying?
music, a lot of people give either the criticism or praise that music is like before words or has some pre-linguistic sort of state where we sort of are just embodied together, we're acting together. Or at least if it does have language, then it uses language in a much different way. But I almost think that this kind of series of experiments is almost like the opposite. Our actions, since we're mostly using talking as our art form, is almost like the confines that actual music has, in terms of its like temporality, in terms of its structure, in terms of needing a score or not needing a score or something. It almost has that. It's almost like the same thing from the opposite side. It's almost like pre-art.
Do you think it like alternates? Do you think it like alternates between music and talking? Like each one, like if we could like if music is pre-talking and talking is pre-music, could music be pre-talking again? Like if we went even further and then talking pre-music?
I don't think that you mean actually like as in a strict chronology. Start here and you're coming toward somewhere. So if
You start where?
if where music and language meet is a specific point, you can come either from the musical side to that meeting point, or from the linguistic side to that meeting point. So they can both be pre in that way.
But it's,
Okay, so the meeting point is something.
right, which seems to be where we're dancing from, but we seem to be coming from the path of the linguistic,
Yes.
from talking.
Yeah. Have we met the musical? We haven't met the point yet.
I don't think so.
Or have
No.
What point are you talking
Getting
about?
flirty with it.
I don't think I even see it yet. Really, not much. Okay, I've seen it.
I think I see it.
I see it,
Yeah.
but I'm not looking at it very much. Oh my god, I see it!
context of my performance is very much this. for the point, then.
Stop. I'm really uncomfortable.
Oh, come on.
Okay, time out.
Sure.
What if we introduce our objects into the circle?
Okay.
Like give a backstory of
Backstory.
any kind.
What if the objects are like a chess game?
Chess game.
But the rules are just intuitive.
I don't know.
So like,
It's a competition.
No.
but there is a goal.
Four-way chess.
Faraway chess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just throwing that out there. Or
That has
basketball.
That has less to do with language, though.
Really?
That's just me being,
Yeah.
for me, what I'm imagining.
Yeah.
That's just me being greedy because I like to look at things.
I'm just curious why
Thanks.
everyone chose these objects.
Maybe we should do an intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know what this is like? It's like four people getting together who've never
What
been
if- what
together
if-
before, and they
what-
just started talking.
What if we describe why we think each other person chose their object?
Ooh, that's
Oh.
That's good.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
This is so fun, guys. Thank you. Okay, so what do we do? Who's gonna go first?
Okay.
Patrick is
I'll
going to
go
describe my paper first.
All right, do it.
I'm gonna go with the paper because
Alright.
Amy is a very concise person.
Wait, are you introducing Amy, or are you introducing the paper?
He's
No.
just telling you about his situation
I'm
right now.
introducing
He
the
hasn't
situation about why Amy might have brought the paper,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and I guess I can introduce the paper too. But I mean that seems
stick
like
to one
kinda
thing at a time.
self-evident because
Alright.
I'm at the same point where you are with that. Maybe
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
Maybe not. Okay. Very concise. She carries paper. She's a composer. Ben is
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Wait, are
Nice.
you introducing everybody?
yeah.
Sure.
Oh,
We're
okay.
each introducing
Oh,
everybody.
okay. All right,
Okay.
gotcha.
Ben brought this beer.
Uh-huh.
Wow, there's so many ways I could go with this
Hmm.
because he's got like this Navy dad thing going on.
I like to call it nautical dad.
Nautical dad.
This is so good. Oh, wow. Okay.
Nautical dad.
Yes.
And
Nautical dad.
he's.
More like not.
I have a
cool dad.
backstory to this beer in that, I know where this bottle came from, but I don't think it's really necessary for me to divulge that. But I know the context of this bottle. And with this, I'm thinking about actually, even though this is not the same kind of ball, I'm thinking about your basketball career and how a tennis ball and a basketball both bounce really well. And then this is mine. And do we have to describe our own? Should we
Maybe
describe-
wait till the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's wait till
the end.
Let's wait till the end. Right.
Okay.
Great. Okay, next up. Let's go this way.
Okay. I'll start from the opposite then. I'll
Okay,
start with
do it, do it.
Neon Tim here. Wilson too. I think the ball, the bounciness of the ball is important, and like sort of the vibrancy, and I think this like both combination of athletic and also pensive sort of quality. You can sort of bounce a wall. You can bounce this against a wall sort of solo, and you can kind of have like a self-reverie or self-thoughtfulness. But you can also be like athletic and play with other people and toss it and be cooperative with it. So, Tim, Amy, I think it's significant that the paper has been crunched. It's blank. It's waiting to be waiting. It's like free for creative possibility. It's very particular. large thoughts. Crumpled, easier to throw. Easier. It's more similar to other shapes in the thing now. It's also less wind picking up. Patrick. Looks like he's trying to eat this a little bit. I know he likes eating things, especially things he finds in the woods.
That's our Patrick.
Yeah, but no, I think there's this nature and also this sonic element to this thing that almost you have to imagine the crispiness of it. Yeah, and it's a very like observable, close sort of thing, and very like two sides of the same thing that you can really look closely at different ways. So, whatever that means.
Okay. So it's not a ball. It's got more visual interest than that, more details. But there are no sharp edges. It's very smooth. Ben has an intense fear of sharp edges. And he's also not, he feels that he's afraid of them, and he also feels that they might be threatening to others if he brings them. The hollowness, it doesn't necessarily mirror Ben, but it's sort of an allegory that he's trying to communicate slowly. This is one part of the allegory. The others will be revealed over the next weeks, maybe even months. So this is like his first installment. Patrick at the seed pod. He's used these seeds several times for different purposes. He can influence what grows when he plants them by different, sleeping on a different different side of the bed, drinking a different tea in the morning, whatever, altering his routine slightly.
Wow.
He can influence what grows, be it a special food that he likes to eat, maybe a rake if he needs one. So this is useful.
A tool rake.
This is useful, and also the color palette is a favorite of his. Tim brought this ball. He likes sort of the duality here. There's two pieces interlocked. It's not a reflection, again, of his personality, rather than sort of an obsession with twos and doubles. He often will dream the same dream twice. It's not that he himself experiences a lot of doubling, but he enjoys them and he seeks doubles out. He's found a double for each of us except for Ben, including himself. Also, the texture he finds just right. His baby is pretty delicate, maybe not so great to squeeze this way. So this is what he squeezes instead of his baby.
This is really good. Wow, you guys are so good.
It's Tim's turn. You want me to hold it down?
Sure. Okay.
You're gonna do it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I worry about Patrick because he's so, attuned to nature, and so when I, have a chance to entrust him with technology, then I do second guess myself a little bit, but when you think about it, I think Patrick sees nature as technology, or technology as nature of sorts, where they really aren't that different. Tools are tools and things are things, and life is life. And if a thing has life, then it has life. And if it doesn't have life, then it still has life. And because, even when things are dead, they still are living because he brings them to life. And I think you see this kind of double-sided. It's a little different from my ball, I think, where you don't just, it's not a duality as much as the fact that, what do you mean I flipped it over? I didn't flip it over. Yeah, I was looking at the same thing. I mean, yeah. 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 That's Patrick. And Ben is, this object particularly, I think, was brought out of maybe convenience. It was, it's very much because if you, there's a very literal sense of just like literally taking, life as art, art as life, and so why not take literally a physical chunk of his life and insert it into the art making process, or the pre-art making process that we're about to engage in. And so, I think beers are also kind of like, conversations, right? It's very much, well, let's have a beer, let's have a whatever, and so Ben's coming from kind of also not only showing himself as an identity, but also offering a part of himself as a way to are you filming me or the object? As a way to kind of collaborate, to open the doors for further conversation, further talking, further maybe over food, at the same time. But however, it is an empty bottle, so I wonder if he's expecting to be filled, or he's trying to show us that he just had a good time, or I'm not sure about that. Well, I think we'll have to see. And that's Ben. And for Amy, I think was really interesting that she did really crunch it up, which shows that I think the amount of care that she has for this particular object is not very high at all. In fact, the value of it doesn't change, whether it's an object that is flat and used and in perfect condition, or if it's just totally like that and here's my object, and as if it was the same thing, and it really is the same thing. And so for her, a paper is a paper, no matter if it's scrunched up or if it's like perfectly flat and everything. I don't know if it's maybe if it had writing on it would be kind of different, but then I think she didn't even put that on the table literally, because I think for her this is an object and it's a complete object, and it doesn't need to have any kind of further quantification or framing, I think, and so this is like a finished product. It's a finished object. It's here. There it is.
So should we do our own now?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Patrick, back to you.
Okay, back to you. Okay. Okay. Go.
I think Tim summed it up really well. It's like why I chose that object. I don't make a distinction sometimes, quite often, between like nature and technology, but I think technology needs another word, like a broader word of maybe animation is a good word. That's what I have to say about that. And also, I was just like I was walking past this tree with these seed pods, and I naturally gravitate towards it, and I would have grabbed it anyway had I needed to bring an object here or not. So, I would have been grabbing it and carrying it around, regardless of whether I had to bring it here or not. So, yeah.
That's cool.
I think this object and alcohol as a symbol has always been a bit of a conflict zone for me, that represents a tear between what you're doing for your whole life and taking a break from whatever it is you're doing. And is there such a thing as a good break, or what is necessary about taking time away, or like refreshing or rejuvenating? And sometimes alcohol helps me do that, but it also almost inevitably always
brings up that question for me again too of like, I think I'd really love to have a place where everyday life is so, it has cycles of rejuvenation within it already, that it doesn't need some sort of other object as a symbol to replenish it. So I think it's partly, it has a dual understanding of both like rejuvenation, but also a crutch and an imbalance.
I think I do feel care for this object. I think it's superior crumpled in this situation. For practical concerns like wind, like fitting in the frame, like being more pleasant to me aesthetically in the group with the other objects. Also, it's kind of a miracle of an object because its shape is not fixed. I mean, its shape is fixed. It's a plane, and it's always a plane, which is definitely true. But, like macro picture, it's a ball, or it's a wad. Can you imagine if you could, like, wad glass, or if you could wad this? Also, like, maybe this bottle, but maybe not to the extent of the paper. Maybe to the same extent. The materials in this paper have traveled already an incredible distance from their origins as like nutrients in plants. Whereas something like Patrick's object, sorry Patrick, it doesn't have like I mean it's possible that it could, but it probably won't have the breadth of travel and life experience that this piece of paper will, especially if I recycle it, which I plan to. And so on and so on. It could live like 1,000 lives as 1,000 different things. I don't see it as an allegory for myself or representative of me, but I do love it.
You can do this all day. It's really good. So, actually, why I chose this isn't really huge, like a certain significant deal at all, but it was just, it was very practical. It was already in my bag. So, I think, yeah, for me, this object represents a lot of taking what I already have and implementing it into the artistic process. Yeah, and I think earlier what we said about like how like your roommate just kind of joins in the conversation or whatever, and like kind of just flows right into it. I think that's a really admirable trait, and I think in choosing the object I was sort of aiming for that. Yeah, so that it's not, we've talked, the question a couple of times in our group, and we're like, well, when does talking become performance, or when does it become music, or when does talking become talking, or whatnot, and I think yes to all of them. where yeah, like talking can become music, it can become talking, it can become performance, and but also that yeah, it's a lot of it is also retroactively. So for me, it's not only that talking becomes performance, but it's like the performance that either already happened or is about to happen is actually retroactively talking of a sort, in a way. Kind of like how we were, like, I didn't plan it that way, but I felt like it was kind of cool when we were all waiting for Patrick to finish his food, and we were kind of just sitting around, and then we were like joking how like you were already talking, and you were already talking, and then like, and in a way you were, I feel like, for me talking is just a conscious or conscientious or kind of way of talking, knowing that you're talking. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but and so because you had that, and actually all of us did, but particularly because we pointed you out, I felt like we could kind of retroactively like trace it back, and then it extended beyond the time when I pressed start. Yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. So that's one of the things I'm like really excited about. Yeah. So that for me is that is there. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just stopped recording. Can you say that again?
I think this is the most musical that Talking Talking has been.
Yeah. Oh great. Oh good.
I think that Amy's description of our objects as opposed to her objects sounded very composed, and improvisatory.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
improvisatory. Yeah. Well,
At both at the
I
same
mean, it
time.
was like the structure was was very composed, and the things that fit within the vessels and the structure were very improvisatory.
The structure.
Yeah.
How tight do you think the link is between us, our talking, and our musical styles?
Very tight. I don't think of a separability. I think, for me, because playing music, I think, is just like the instrument is just another vessel for release, right? And it may not be, I guess it depends where you see the music is. Yeah, like if it's made at that moment, or if it's always in you, or if it's flowing or flowing.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. But when you were saying this was the most musical, like what did you mean by that? Was it like through?
Well, maybe also it just in our attitudes towards it. I mean, we were solo, you know, and the attention that I was giving was kind of my musical attention.
Oh.
Not that I was paying attention to sound or like timbre or things like musical considerations more than meaning, but I felt I couldn't interrupt, and I needed to be alert and involved and like looking for like, yes, I see this. I enjoy analyzing music when I listen to it to an extent, so I felt I was giving my musical attention
Oh, cool.
to this situation. I felt like that was natural.
Right.
That's great.
Did you all feel any
I-
sort of
I can concur
concert?
with you, or agree with you about the attention. Yeah.
Attention.
Yeah.
Because like, I feel like it's actually not too different from being in a concert where your attention usually is focused on the people, right, or on their instrument or whatever they're doing, and then that kind of sort of movement. But this is also, I mean, these are objects, but they're also moving, right? Like literally the wind is blowing and they're moving too, and it's just a different sort of movement, but we're imparting an energy into it.
I don't know that I
No.
was really. I was talking about this.
Uh-huh.
There's like a muse maybe, but I don't think I was talking through this. I don't know how I would.
So you're saying it's just analytical?
Well, I wouldn't pay attention to this the same way I would pay attention to an instrument.
I do wonder though.
My sight attention was different.
Can we do it without sight attention, but with touching attention?
I was just gonna say
Oh.
something like
Yeah.
that. Like I felt
Okay.
that the way I described the object definitely changed as soon as I touched it.
Yes.
As soon as I picked it up.
I noticed that a lot of us
Yeah.
were touching and holding
It's
it
like
and everything.
thoughts went different ways.
Like you described like the crackle, and here I'm gonna do a crackle solo here. And then like there was this whole thing. And this, which I didn't go all the way to crumpling it and unfolding it, but I think everyone else did. I actually liked it not crumpled too. I liked it both ways.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great.
touching it and looking. So yeah, that brings out like touching and looking. So that gets 2 in there.
Touching and looking.
Yeah, and then we were kind of getting 3, touching,
Yes.
looking,
We
hearing,
were interested in the sound.
Yeah.
and
Definitely
then
this one.
yeah, we couldn't get much further than that. Yeah.
So what are you saying? Like, should we try like another round, or
Should try
like,
tasting the
should-
objects.
Tasting the objects.
Yeah.
Well,
That is
yeah,
funny
maybe
that we
that's
don't
not
really-
necessary, but maybe, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say that as artists in the traditional sense, not that people who work with food aren't artists, but we don't we have such a hierarchy of like.
Yeah.
But I also if I see an arrangement of objects or a sculpture or whatever, a visual stimulus,
Yeah.
I certainly am like, oh, of course, that's like intrinsic to the object. That's like a big part of its identity, and that's like,
Yeah.
if it's art, that's like what makes it art, or whatever. It's thing. But taste, I don't ever think like if I see this, or
Yeah.
if I see anything that's not presented to me as food, I don't feel that its taste is an intrinsic part of its identity.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah,
In terms of,
but
like,
if we were like a
survival,
dog
or
or
else
something,
it'd be-
I'm sure we would. Think
Yeah,
something else, but I have something I really, really want to add. Is that
Well,
that
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's too
Ben,
I
bad.
have to
Ben,
go.
Ben actually brought a painting
Oh.
because
That's true. That's
Ah.
someone's painting.
we didn't talk about that. Like someone painted that,
Yeah.
and then it got mixed with the whole history of typography, like right here, like the
Every
entire
font ever made.
Sing.
the entire history of
There it
typography. Plus, this like this. I mean, can fit with this kind of nature thing too.
But it's a farce. It's like just as far removed from nature as like this or this.
Is it?
I think so, because of the materials. Which is
but
what
aren't
I,
these the
which
same
is what
materials?
I prioritize.
They're
Yeah.
both tree.
But they're not the same. Same.
This is inside the tree, and this is outside the tree.
Yeah, they're
It's
different.
also other things. Like,
It's also lots of other
colors.
things. And it's
That's
been
true.
through a lot. There's an alchemical
been
component to
chemically
it
treated,
because
chemically
of all the processes
Yeah.
it's undergone.
That's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
transportation. And
For
footprint.
me, that changes its identity.
So is this conversation
significantly.
about nature then? Are we talking about nature?
I'm talking about identity of objects, I think.
I was talking about paintings.
Yeah, he was talking about paintings, and then I wanted
I
to talk
see.
about identity some more, so I found a way.
Yeah. Well, I just really wanted to bring up like the fact that this was a painting,
Ah.
and how it it got onto this, which is really interesting, and it's like I mean, I think it's like the connector between this. So here's like a mass-produced thing, and
That's really
a
good,
nature
by the way.
thing, and here's like something that was like very special, like someone painted it, but then it became mass-produced, but it's also like about this.
So you think that subject, like the subject matter, or the associations you have with an image, would you say that they influence its identity more than its like physical, like material makeup in your?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
What the object means is more salient than the materials that it is made from.
For me here,
But that could switch too,
It could
because
switch, yeah.
the materials
Yeah.
could become the meaning.
I
if
tend
the
toward
materials-
materials more unless there's some sort of like really overt,
Is it an either or?
symbolism. No, it's just you fall along the spectrum, and it's interesting to see that we're not. Our default is not identical.
And that says a lot about each one of us, I think, through the process of talking through that. I feel like we know each other now. Like part of us is kind of literally like put on the table, put forth, You know how we're saying like we're making judgments, like not in a bad way. Oh, I think you're a prick. But
Yeah.
the fact that like I think your position is a little clearer than when we first started, and I think that kind of helps to. I don't know. I think now that I'm looking at these objects, like they're much more. They're unified. Like Patrick, you pointed out that these both come from trees, but then they're also very distinct too. Like they like this is like Ben now, like literally when you see that, and then we associate.
Literally.
I don't. I'm not there.
You're not there?
No,
No.
I'm not there.
I
Me
see.
either.
I'm projecting.
Another sort of side comment is I think that there is an ethical dimension to how you see objects
Ethical.
in terms of like its eco footprint of where it came from, what materials it was made. Like there's a new, and that kind of consciousness hasn't really been. I mean, it's always been important, but I think especially now with the crisis of so many environmental things, that like where objects come from is actually really important.
Yeah.
And like,
Much higher
I
up
want
on
to
the
throw
ladder
this out
now.
there that my
Yeah.
personal opinion is that these are all from nature.
these are all from nature.
These are all nature.
Sure, but
For me.
but would you agree that some of them are more destructive to nature?
Symbolically.
How can you
Uh,
argue that it's not more than symbolically? Because like,
Well, no, because
it's obviously
Not
took
intrinsically.
less.
yeah.
Maybe.
This is
Well,
getting
well,
really
but-
good.
I think that like every bottle in the world, yes, but this particular one, maybe not.
But what is
Like
every
what-
bottle in the world but each particular bottle?
Yeah, well, that's a good question.
Where is the threshold? Where's
Yeah.
the line with you?
Yeah, well,
Right here.
I agree with you on that. I think it's like yes and no. Like
I
Yeah.
think we can, but definitively say that this put more CO2 into the atmosphere than this.
yeah.
Do you
That's
know
true.
that for a fact?
Yes.
But like this could also like be tossed into a roadside somewhere, and fill with sediment, and like a plant could grow out of it.
I think that's being too kind to
But theoretically, that could happen.
It
yeah.
could happen. It could
Yeah.
happen, yeah.
No, I agree though. Like in terms of the carbon footprint though, or something like that. That this is, it's not just like the bottle itself and the paper, but also like the whole production,
transportation.
Yeah.
transportation
We
behind
were-
it, and also what it contained too, which required like a field to grow in,
Right.
You know, to grow the grain and whatnot.
But that's human behavior regarding this object and not just the object existing as it is now. That's like imagining it's not necessarily
I think that this
imagining
particular
as in
bottle, like right now in like this moment, is being pretty benign to the environment.
Well, yeah,
But,
but where it's come from.
Yeah,
but
but do
its
you-
whole history.
is its
yeah.
history like part of its current identity?
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's a really good question.
Yeah.
And I think that's something we have to answer in order to address the
Yeah.
environmental crisis well. Because we can't, because you're right, this bottle is kind of like harm. It's already done its harm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no,
harmless.
It's already like out. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's right here.
It's
not
the
doing
future
some-
bottles that.
Right.
It's like the nothing stuff that's going to be the future
Yeah.
bottles.
Right. So-
that are going to do the harm.
Yeah. You have to have this dimension of time of where the bottle came from
Yeah.
and where other bottles will be. And
Like also like I don't think that this. I mean, from the environmental standpoint, I don't think that this is a native species, and so like there is.
So perhaps it is more destructive than this bottle.
It could be.
Item by item.
Yeah.
than this one bottle. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have to do
You
a lot
don't-
of really complex
you don't know.
Yeah.
calculations.
Yeah.
Although this is just sitting here just the way this bottle is. So
Yeah.
if its past is not a part
But
of it, then
there's
its
this
past is not
potentiality
part
of
of
the
it.
Right.
seeds in here, too. Like they could
That's
spread.
true. That's true.
That's right. There's life.
That's
Yeah.
deep. Yeah. This could break and cut your foot.
Well, there could be like there could be like a little drop in here, so insects could get some.
There's
nourishment.
living yeast in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sure.
The microscopic world,
Yeah.
the world beyond our senses, or below.
So what's
Yeah.
nature?
Who cares? Like,
I've been thinking about that a lot. I don't really have an answer.
Yeah, I can't draw the
I think it's
line.
yeah. I know that I've been adding things to it.
Trees.
I understand. Yeah, I
Grass.
understand.
Yeah, I knew that streams and the mountains in
That's
it,
like
but I've been,
baseline nature.
but I've been adding
Been
like the
upgrading.
cities and the body, human body, and I've been adding just more and more.
Well, the question.
It would be great to just play like nature or not.
That's the thing.
You know?
The more interesting question is what's not nature,
Yeah.
and if you can answer that. Then
Nature or not. Nature or not.
What's not nature?
Yeah. Really
Yeah,
everything.
Being like,
Really, I think only behavior is destructive.
yeah.
And there's no
Behavior
there's no
is-
end of nature.
Yeah, there's no end of nature, but there could be like extreme behavior that's not nature.
Or
Or could-
self-destructive.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like the only thing that's not
Oh,
nature is
destruction.
self-destructive.
Oh, what about instead of not?
Yeah.
Wait, what was that?
Unnature.
Yeah, to unnature.
Yeah.
Unnature.
Oh, because so then nature is
It's
just
like
a
the
descriptor.
Yeah,
Nature is not an object or a category even, not a noun.
nature is a
Like that's
descrip-
very nature of you. You could say about it.
Or, but like
Like-
unnature would be like
Like a verb.
like the flip side of like the same coin.
Yeah, that's true.
Same coin.
Or to use that metaphor, like if we were thinking of unnaturing
Let's say leaf.
leaf, the flip side of the
Same
of the
leaf.
same seed pod.
We all know coins aren't nature.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
cool. Unfortunately, I have to go to this
Oh,
rehearsal now.
What time
oh
is
man.
it?
5 to 6.
Oh shit,
Alright.
I gotta go too.
Okay. See ya.
See you later.
Bye.